Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholics claim that icon veneration comes from the apostles themselves. But what if the truth is the exact opposite? In 1st century Rome, the Imperial Cult dominated religious life. The emperor wasn't just obeyed, he was worshipped. His image was everywhere. Statues towered in public squares and temples. Mosaics and frescoes adorned homes, bathhouses, and government buildings. Carved reliefs and busts were placed in military monuments and sacred sites. Altars were built in his honor, where offerings were made before his likeness. The early Christians refused to bow to icons of the emperor. To them, this was idolatry. They would rather die than honor an image, and many did. So how did the church go from rejecting images to embracing them? Let's uncover the shocking truth. For the first 3 centuries, Christianity was different. No hero worship, no golden paintings, no icon veneration. Why? Because they feared one thing: idolatry. There shall be no pictures in the church, lest what is worshipped and adored should be depicted on the walls. The early church believed that images could lead to idolatry. Listen to Clement of Alexandria from the 2nd century. Moses expressly forbade making any likeness, so that we may not cleave to things of sense, but pass to intellectual objects. Even Irenaeus, one of the earliest church fathers, condemned those who used images alongside Christian worship. He saw it as a step toward idolatry. In his work, Against Heresies, he critiques the Carpocratians, a Gnostic sect, for their use of images in worship. They also possess images, some of them painted, and others formed from different kinds of material, and they maintain that a likeness of Christ was made by Pilate at that time when Jesus lived among them. They crown these images and set them up along with the images of the philosophers of the world, that is to say, with the images of Pythagoras and Plato and Aristotle and the rest. They have also other modes of honoring these images after the same manner of the Gentiles. Now ask yourself, does this sound like an endorsement of icon veneration? And if the early church was so opposed to icons, how did the church change? What happened to make Christians start bowing before paintings? Something changed. The Apostolic Church had always refused icon veneration, but by the 6th century, icons were everywhere. What happened? In 313 AD, Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity. For the first time, Christians weren't persecuted, they were favored. But Constantine was still a Roman emperor, and Romans loved their images. As Christianity merged with the empire, something happened. Imperial imagery made its way into churches. Bishops began dressing like Roman officials. Christian art, once simple, became elaborate. Then in 431 AD, Mary was given the title Mother of God, and Marian imagery exploded. By the 6th century, icons weren't just decorations. They were kissed, bowed to, and carried in processions. The line between veneration and worship blurred. All of this was instituted and enforced by the state, by Imperial Rome. By the 8th century, Christians were at war with each other. The battle? Over icons. Some saw them as sacred, others saw them as idolatry, and the emperor took a side. In 726 AD, Emperor Leo III ordered the destruction of icons. He believed they were idolatrous and weakening the empire. Churches were stripped of images. Priests were arrested. It was war. But icon supporters fought back. The monk John of Damascus argued, "The honor paid to the image passes to the prototype." The church was divided. Finally, in 787 AD, the Second Council of Nicaea ruled in favor of icons. Bowing, kissing, and venerating images were now officially part of Christian worship. But was this a victory for faith, or a compromise with paganism? Today, many believe icon veneration has always been part of Christianity. But the truth is, those who opposed it were silenced. After the Second Council of Nicaea, the victors erased their opposition. Most iconoclast writings were confiscated and destroyed. The Church rewrote history. The first Christians knew the dangers of images. They knew how pagan Rome used them. But by the 8th century, the Church had become what it once fought against. Icons replaced truth, tradition replaced scripture, and the Church was changed forever. Like and share if you found this eye-opening. Comment below. Do you think icon veneration is the same as idolatry? Subscribe for more biblical truths. The Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholics don't want you to know.